both Tantra and Veda have knowledge which is, you could say, channeled from somewhere, as being also in part historical. Because, like, if we look at the four Vedas, that is actually before many of those lengthy stories like Mahabharata, then very clearly a lot of that understanding, brought often in very poetic way, is something which has been revealed in deep meditation or some other kind of trance maybe, and then been passed on, and later even written down and become together a body of knowledge. On the other hand, both in Tantra and in Vedic knowledge, which are anyhow closely linked, it's very difficult actually to separate one from the other clearly. There is a, you could say, an attempt to connect also to historical facts, as of course there is also a connecting of whatever information is received in a more mysterious way, let's say as a channeling, to the practical experience that people have, in whatever it is they are doing. Like Ayurveda is part of both, I would say. It has both a Vedic and a Tantric origin. There very clearly also people have done experiments with certain treatments, and much in the way that we do it in modern way. These experiments have been studied and the results of it have been, used. So the way knowledge develops, and in a sense that is true for any kind of knowledge, but definitely for the more spiritual knowledge, there is always an element of channeling involved. And there is an element of, working with it and seeing what happens and drawing further conclusions from that experience. And there is an element there then, to make that knowledge into something which is more convincing, which means make a good story out of it. And then, as any story writer may be inspired by historical facts and myths and, places and people and whomever he meets in a way, no? If you look at how authors are writing fiction books, So then in that way, like, yes, Ramayana and some of the other stories, they are clearly related to history, in the sense that some of the places that are mentioned are actually existing places, like the famous Ayodhya, of course. So it comes from many different sources, but revelation, divine inspiration, channeling always is a part of it. And even in science, that is very interesting, how there seems to be such an effect. There have been done studies by scientists to understand how it is possible that very often when a new invention it is made in science, that it is very often made around the same time in different places. This has happened so often that it even convinced the science, which usually would not really be so much interested by that sort of ideas, why this is happening. And so they really took several of these cases, scientific discoveries, and try to exclude, without doubt, any connection between the different scientists that were involved, maybe one in Europe, one in the US, one in Asia or something, and they could not find any such kind of like relationship. There had been no communication whatsoever. Even they went so far as to totally look at the internet browser history of these people to make sure that they had not somehow, no, been, let's say, inspired by the same web page which brought forward some kind of idea. So I always felt that was so wonderful. And well, then, if science discovers something which anyhow it cannot explain, it usually tries to ignore it. This is what they are doing. But still, the documents are there, the studies are there, and I can smile at it.